Hi everybody. So I have Kira with me and I'm not sure, she said hi. I'm not sure what the title of this video is going to be, but I thought that it would be nice to have Kira on here with me. She's here with a book. She loves books. That's all that. If you have options for her, she will always go for a book. And so it's really simple for us to know like what she likes. Sometimes because we can be giving her books all the time. I know she needs variety, and her floor time therapist works with expanding her the things that she can play with. When she was born, they told us that she had partial trisomy 10p. Like I said in previous videos, we don't know what the outcome is. They just told us that she's going to have to go into delays and to basically be watching for everything. We have to be her own detective. She is nonverbal. If she's hurting, we need to watch out for just physical cues. She does make noises for dislikes and likes. But we basically just have to be investigators and putting clues together, pieces together. So when she was about a year and a half, they did a psychological exam where they said that she was in the range of a 7-month-old when she was a year and a half. And they did one just recently, this year actually. They said that she was in the range of a 2-year-old. So and she's 12 years old. So that is that's severe. And so we already knew that wasn't anything. But to think about how far she's come from where she was at a baby and to now, for us is a big change because we get to see all the little milestones and they are huge for us. I can say like when I see my little one growing, she's doing new things like every day, and that's awesome to see. But there's a difference when my little one, who is typical 1-year-old, compared to her and her abilities, and I know how much harder she needs to work. That difference means that something so small, we need to just celebrate it even more and we feel it even more. And it's not to say that, oh yeah, we don't with our 1-year-old, no, because we do. But we've just been waiting so long for her to be able to do certain things. She is nonverbal, right? Like I said, but she expresses herself in so many different ways. So the people who know her the best obviously is going to know that this is what she wants, or yeah, she's thirsty, or she needs to use the restroom. But she is very social if you take the chance to get to know her. So there's people, strangers, who just come up to her and talk to her, and I thank the Lord for those people because they bless us, and not because of the things that they say, but because they take the time to just come up to her and to express and show us that they think she's a real person, not just look at us when they're talking about her, but actually talk to her. And we have awesome friends who do that. I didn't have that before, and so that is the reason why my channel was created, to build a community of other parents who have special needs kids that in reality they don't have support in their life, but that they can have support online. Maybe even get to meet a couple of local mommies. That would be awesome. We are in the Southern California area, so if you are in the Southern California area, let it be known, and maybe we can have a little date or something. Need to touch, feel book, huh? Which one is? What's your favorite page? Which one is your favorite? Sean? Does everything very slow. So even like if you tell her to give you something, she will do it very slow. If you tell her to make a choice, to do it very slow. So there's a lot of patience involved, and I have asked I ask the Lord constantly to give me patience and to refuel me with that patience because I need it. And I was not patient at all before this, and sometimes I don't think that I am. But other people tell me, you're so patient, you're so patient. And I think that you're going to get that if you're parents of special needs kid, because it's just a hard thing to do, to educate someone who has limitations when you don't have patience. So I think that they're going to see that in you, even if you don't see it yourself. And that's very encouraging to have other people tell you that you're patient, because it just keeps you going and lets you know that you are on the right track, that you love this kid, and that love is just allowing you to have what they need in order for them to just continue growing. I know that we are all going to have hard days, and those hard days are when we need to hold on to truths more than ever, because we need to get through that. We need to understand that they're not going to last, and we need to understand that we are here for a purpose, and we can't dwell on whatever is holding us down. For example, like, I think our hardest time, well, my hardest time in Kira's journey was when she had her stroke. She had a stroke when she was 3 years old, and she had already been in the hospital for a month and a half for a bowel obstruction that had did a mess inside her body. She was in septic shock, and it just took a lot of intervention to get her to a healing point. In one of the surgeries that she had, she suffered a stroke because her blood pressure had gone too low. And we later came to find out her artery to her brain was very thin. So they started her on baby aspirin to thin her blood. But she had suffered a stroke. She couldn't move her left side. And then it went to her side being weak. Her side is still weak. She has gone through a hip surgery on her left hip, which has given her a limp, and because her leg is shorter. So during that time that we were in the hospital with that stroke, I remember just getting on my knees in the hospital and just crying out to him, crying out to the Lord, just asking him why does she have to keep suffering, and the thing that we have to go through, like why. I was mad, I was obviously sad, and I was just distraught. I had a 4-month-old in that time. It was a very tough time, and we were living in the hospital. They had a room for us. Did not want to live there, obviously, with an infant, possibly being exposed to certain illnesses. But I had no choice because I didn't have a car. My husband was working, and I was in the hospital with her. I didn't want to leave her alone. So it was a very dark time for me. And to be able to express that to the Lord and just pour out my feelings, pour out my anger towards the situation, that was a relief, something that I needed to do. I was just tapped out. I was overflowing with worry and the what ifs, and I was just lost. So when you're at that point, you just give up. There's no reason, there's no way that you can do things on your own strength, that you can wake up thinking that, oh yes, today is going to be a good day because I am going to make it a good day. No, because things happen. You just need to rely on the Lord. That's just the only thing that's going to keep us sane. At least for me, that was the only thing. Like I said, I didn't have friends. I had family, but they weren't able to be with me at the time. So it was just me relying on the Lord, just holding on to that promise that we are not given anything more than we can handle, and just having people around me that can give me that truth. I remember my mother-in-law, she's a believer, and so she would be around us constantly, be with Kira, and just telling me to trust in the Lord. And back then, I wanted to believe it really bad, but I wasn't walking with the Lord. I wasn't in complete surrender to Him. And so I wanted to believe it, and I just didn't, because I had doubts that were just coming to me, and like, well, why would God allow her to suffer if He wants the best for me, or if He loves me so much, if He loves her so much, like, why does He allow this? And I just remember putting all those doubts and that thinking in my mind, and not being just not surrendering to Him. But when she became 3 years old, around that time, that's when I just wanted a relationship with Him, and I just had enough. Um, and that's the only way that I was able to get through the difficult days. And now that time has passed, she's 12, and I see the faithfulness of the Lord just moving in her life. Seriously, like, if I was to try to feed her anything, she would just whack it off. She would cry. She would just gag herself, and just vomit all over. So it was very, very bad. So I just see the promises of the Lord just coming through. I prayed since she was a baby, since she was trying to nurse. God to allow her to eat, walk, talk. God has granted the eating part, eating by mouth. She still needs to allow her to walk independently and allow her to talk. I don't know how that's going to look like. She might walk, but she might walk with a walker or a cane, or I don't know how. But I know that God is faithful. I have to rely on that, and I can't rely on anything else. I cannot rely on her abilities, on her strengths, or on mine, or on my husband's. It's just all the Lord. And so I just want to encourage you with this mini story and allow you to go into that place of darkness, but remember to come and stay there. I'm here for you if for any reason you want to reach out. I want to thank you so much for watching, and here, can you wave her? Can you look at them and wave bye? No? Okay, we shall try next. Alright guys, bye, love you.